From Arizona to Washington and all the way to Georgia, welcome back to the Coast to Coast Catch Up. Abe and I are just two childhood friends who grew up together, chased sports dreams, and now have big boy jobs on the opposite sides of the country. We created this podcast to catch up, unpack real life, and share the ride with you. From deep conversations to lessons we're still learning, laughs to life pivots. It's the kind of catch up everyone needs. Let's get into it, Abe. How are we doing this week, man?
Dude, I'm good. I feel like I'm still on West Coast time, but other than that, it's been it's been good to be back. Good to be back in Atlanta, back at home, back in my own bed. Um, so yeah, man, I feels weird being back, but it does feel good. What about you, man? How's your weekend?
It was good. It was good. Got Alyssa and Alyssa was busy Friday night. Gervis Thompson, one of my guys I played with at college up at Stout, came in. There, him and Mac were took Friday off work, so they went and did stuff, and so it was kind of an empty house when I got home, and somebody reached out and asked if I wanted to ref a varsity game. So kind of worked out perfect. I got to do my first varsity game for high school, and so that was real fun. Did it up under Mount Si, so like right against the mountain. It was a cool stadium, and actually played Friday Harbor, and so Friday Harbor is Friday Island. Friday Island is a island up here, and so they had to take the ferry to the game, and then like we were curious if the game was to go into overtime, if they would even do overtime because high likelihood of them missing the ferry back home. So just an interesting, another thing up here that's kind of new. Like I've never heard of that. Taking a ferry to go to a football game. I thought that seemed super fun and very different than anywhere else I've been. So that was super fun. And then yeah, this weekend was good. Like I said, Gervis was in town, so we hung out with him. Saturday, Alyssa and I had a pretty busy day. I went to the gym, did some yoga. She took me to her F45 where she was training. Got to see her actually like give a class, coach a class for the first time, and she's always a good talker, and so it shouldn't shock me, but it just shocked me how well she took over the class and like was just able to speak. And I stutter, or not necessarily stutter, but I just kind of talk over myself and like have multiple thoughts in my head and kind of spew out, as you've noticed by listening to this. But Alyssa, right away, just right on point. No stuttering, no um, sidetracked or any of that. It was really good. She was really good at it. And, shouldn't surprise me, but it did a bit, and she was really good at it. So did that. That was super fun. She showed me how to how to lift, and that was different than how we normally go. It was good, and then went and played some basketball over at the gym, and so did all that before like 11. So that was a busy day for me, and then just hung out with Alyssa, and yeah, it was good. And then Sunday we went. Gervis, Alyssa, Mac, and I all went to the jump park, and we're definitely the four oldest kids there uh, by about 10 years. So it was awesome. We threw flips, and being the oldest people out there doing stuff, there was definitely a lot of parents staring at us, and we had a crowd of kids following us around because uh, Mac and I throw some weird looking stuff, and Alyssa's good at flipping too. So it was fun. It was, kind of channeled our inner kid, and uh, definitely would recommend doing a jump a jump park if you have time for it. It's super fun. But yeah, that was about it. And then Monday I had a little JV game I refed, and so definitely mid season with that, refing three or 4 days out of the week now. So having a lot of fun with that. But when did you get back into town?
I um I got back in Sunday at like midnight. My plane landed at midnight. But before I go into that, I want to say a couple things. Mac taking back-to-back Fridays off is pretty hilarious. That's pretty awesome. Wish I could do that. But I can't complain because I did the whole last week off. And then jump park, dude. I haven't been to a jump park in so long. It was not even a jump park. But the last time I was at one, I would say it was probably like Desert Devils when I was like 15. Uh, and I remember like they had like the super nice like Olympic tramps that like you could actually like I as a non-person that doesn't flip very well could actually land flips on. But That's so cool to hear. But yeah, so I got back in late Sunday. Anytime you travel from west to east, it's harder, right? Because you're going against the time. And being Spokane, like it's a pretty small airport, so there are direct flights, but I ended up having being in Salt Lake City for a while. Um, Almost missed my flight out of Spokane because it being so small. My dad and I were like, "Oh, we only probably need like an hour and a half." We got late getting in the car and like packing, and then like we get to the airport, and I had maybe like an hour, and then the line to like check my bag uh, was like there was two hockey teams just full of bags that were in line, and I kind of did one of those. Oh crap! Like I don't not like I don't usually get stressed in the airports like waiting in line and stuff like that, and like making my flights because like at the end of it all it's gonna be fine. But there was a lot of I'm not sure if I'm gonna make this flight or not. Luckily, I made the threshold just the baggage lady was nice. I did the kiosk, checked my bag, waited in line, and I got past like the threshold limit for where the bag will actually get on the plane. Um, and she like since I like kiosked it and tagged it before, she had let that on. So I had like maybe like 30 minutes to get to my flight. And I thank God security blew by. And so I was the last one on my plane for sure, but I wasn't holding anyone up. So that was kind of funny. Definitely definitely a little bit of panic of, hey, I need to walk a little faster to get to my plane. But thank God it's a small airport. I didn't have to like take a train or numerous runways to get to my gate. It was just right there. So that kind of started that whole travel day. Had a flight, had to stop in Salt Lake City. Was there for like maybe like an hour and a half, and then I think I got in at like 11:30. Grabbed my bag. It was late, so Mina didn't pick me up. Grabbed an Uber, got home, and um, dog still gets really excited when people come home, and she has sometimes excited pees. I think Lola does the same thing. So I got excited peed on at like 12:30 at night. Cleaned that up and went to bed. So that was fun. But yeah, so that was kind of the back end of the week. And I think the last recording we did was Thursday. So Friday I just hung out with my grandparents again. They're up in Idaho, so just as much time as I can spend with them, playing board games. Played a lot of Farkle. With my mom, she could really play a ton of card games, so one-handed games are great. Played a lot of Farkle, a lot of Yahtzee, a lot of Rummy. Saturday I golfed with my dad. So that was twice that week I was able to do that. Cool to play. It's cool to see that my dad has kind of more time, more freedom. And I've played a few times with him at, over the years at Silverado, his old work, but to play with him in a course that we kind of always, I know it's a special spot in his heart because that's where he grew up at, but playing there every summer, and now it's kind of like a new home for him and me. Being able to play there is super fun. So just good to play there and see him in his element, and golf courses up there. I just enjoy. So fun to have that. And yeah, man, it was a good cap off to that last week, and getting back on the swing of things here. But yeah, so good to be back. The weather here is nice. I took Charlie out yesterday, and it was like perfect weather. And so, yeah, I feel like I kind of got. We're going into a good season here with the fall. Leaves aren't changing yet, but you can feel it in the air where it's not hot and humid all day long. So, just really excited about that. And fall here lasts a lot longer. I know we talked about it before, but like it's not like 2.5 weeks. And so, I know Mina and I are both really looking forward to like just some nice weather. And I think my dog is too, because it's not hot and sunny and humid, and she's got a long thick black coat. So I think she's excited for that. But yeah, man, just excited. Again, kind of capped off a great week, but good to be back.
Good, man. Can you beat your dad still in golf, or is this, he works at a golf course and you've kind of given up golfing competitively for the time? So how do those matches go nowadays?
It's been funny. So it does ebb and flow. Like up until high school, he would kick my ass. And then he going into freshman year, he was like, "Oh, you're not going to beat me throughout all of high school." And I think I beat him within like the first month or two. And then, so I pretty much dominated our matches for a good, all of high school, all of college. If we played 10 times, I'd probably win 8 or 9. And so like it was pretty dominant performance. But now like I got out of college, like I'm not playing as much anymore. He plays way more than he ever did before. He plays every Monday, and I know he plays at least another time during the week. And he has a range which he didn't have before. So now he hits balls kind of whenever he wants. So now like I won't say this to him to his face, but like I do get a little scared. Not scared, but like I get like, hey, I need to kind of be on it a little bit more. And he I'm sure he feels the exact same way. But yeah, they're a lot closer now. Earlier in the week, last week, I did smoke him in the match we played. Um, I there was presses involved and like all the money matches, but I think I won like $30 off of him, and I think the original bet was 5. So you can do the math there. There's a lot of things going on there. My fellow golfers would know what I mean. And then this one was just a friendly kind of just $5 in total. And I won again, but it was a lot closer. But I played pretty good. I actually played surprisingly really, really good all week. The 2 times I played, and I didn't shoot super well the first day, but I just beat my dad, so that was good. But yeah, it's close. I would say now it's like I would say 60-40 me still, but he's gotten better. He's just gotten a lot more consistent, and I hit it a little less inconsistently now. So very interesting to see the next couple matches we got going. But he's getting older too. I mean, he's getting older. I can't be hitting it that much farther. So I don't know where it's going in the future, but it's certainly close right now. So and I think when we played in May, he got me both times. So it's been fun. I don't enjoy getting worse at golf, but it's been fun to get closer matches, because I will say for
Yeah,
those 8 years it was boring.
yeah, definitely. You know, I think we can talk about this for a bit. What other, timelines did you start beating your dad in? Like, was there a time where you felt, he could no longer help you with your homework, or a time where, it's weird when you're growing up. It's like there's a time in where you're like looked up to this person your whole life, and now all of a sudden you're like, wait, I'm better at you than this. Like, I'm
Yeah.
better than you at this. So, was there a time for other things that you remember distinctively beating your dad in?
Golf was the only thing that mattered. So, like the running thing, like I mean, I obviously passed him at some point when I was faster than him, but I don't know when it was. There's no clear mark. Like I'm still not faster than Kirk, so that I do know. But like the only thing that like I stopped asking for math. He was a major in finance, so he was pretty good at math, but um, I never asked him for much of homework advice. Um, yeah, the only thing that mattered was golf, unfortunately. Um,
Gotcha.
so yeah. Another thing that we do pretty well, and you could probably do this too, but I would say dirt bikes as well. Like him and I rode a lot of dirt bikes growing up. And I think my dad's got kind of a need for speed. Um, And so when we went snowmobiling actually last winter, when me and his parents met my parents, we all went to Idaho and skied for a couple days, and we went snowmobiling for one of those days, and it was like one of those like guided tours, like you're kind of following like the person behind you, but you would take breaks every so often. And my dad and I would like kind of egg each other on, and we would see who can get the fastest on that snowmobile. So like the first stop, I was like, hey, I got to like 35, and he was like, oh, I got 36. And so then like the next time I was like, I gotta get to 40 miles per hour. And we would kind of do that. Like we kind of just kept doing that, like just between like we were the last two in the pack. So we just kind of like kept seeing how fast we can go. But I don't know, like I don't know if my dad's better than me or a dirt biking or not, but I would like to say I'd beat him in a race. I can confidently say I could probably beat him in a race, but he's still good enough and close enough that he can drive a wedge in me and still get me if I'm not paying attention. But um, I would say just those two things, just whoever's faster and whatever we're doing, and then um, golf. Those are really the only two things that matter to me and us. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what you have. What all the things that you were keeping track of beating your parents at.
Yeah. Well, there's quite a few I guess I could look back at. Um, I guess the first one was probably being taller than my mom. I remember that one being a weird one. Like my mom is only 5 foot tall, so it didn't take me very long. It took me about 8 years to catch her, but uh, that's I don't know when I actually caught her. But I remember being like, "Oh, I'm taller than you. Like you're
Yeah,
so old and I'm so young and I'm taller." Um, that one was there. Being able to, my mom's like, "I can't help you with homework anymore." That was probably about the same time for math. And then I'd say the biggest one that I like, okay, we'll go back. Basketball, I would beat my dad every once in a while, but it was like very, 1 out of 10, I'd get him. And then the next year I'd get him 1 out of 8, and then,
yeah.
1 out of 5. And got to the point where I could pretty consistently beat him in basketball. But I'd say the biggest one, I still remember it, was we my dad and I was dating a girl named Bree at the time who was in freshman year, and we went to her soccer game, and my dad's like, "Let's race," and I was like, "All right," like never beat him before, and like so we're like, "Let's race," and so we point to a telephone pole probably 40 to 60 yards away, and we're like, "All right, first one to get there wins," and so we raced like we had always done, and I beat him for the first time ever, and it was just like the happiest 2 seconds of my life until I realized like, oh my goodness, like I'm at the pinnacle. There's no like I'll never lose to him again. Racing is kind of something you don't, he's going down and I'm going up. So it's like it was just overwhelmingly sad actually, which was so different and so like uncomfortable really. It was just like I was so pumped to finally beat him. Like I feel like you know, I'm I've ran so hard and I've tried so hard so many years and like constantly like 10 yards away and then next year 5 yards away. And like once I finally beat him, it was like, did I really want this whole time? It was very, very surreal and like just really, it almost brings tears to me still. Like it's just like one of those times you're like, wow, I am growing up and so is my parents. And you don't realize it when you're young, but you're not only growing up, you're also watching your parents aren't only watching you grow up, you're watching them grow up as well, right? They're going through all these things for the first time, and um, the older I get, the more it's like, wow, I'm about the same age my parents were when they had me, and it's like, I always thought they knew everything, but you know, now that we're 25, it's like we know very little, and I don't know, it's a cool moment to reflect on, but it definitely was like there's no words for how I felt there. It was just like the best feeling for about 2 seconds until I realized like that's it. That's all. I'll never lose to him again, and then I haven't. Um,
No,
but
I get it.
yeah, there's a lot of just certain games and stuff where we're pretty competitive and we'll go back and forth. But racing's one of the things where it's just you don't have a lucky race. It's kind of locked in once you're there, and
Yeah.
yeah. So that was my story for that. And let's circle back to you mentioned dirt biking. Um, we we had a good moment with dirt biking racing up in and
What time are
where
you
were
talking
we?
about, Cannon? I'm feeling sure.
You know which one I'm talking about. So Abe and I just got new dirt bikes. We were learning how to ride with a clutch. We kind of got the boost from the 50s where we rode. There's no clutch, and then they pop you up to the whatever it was, a 110 or a 125,
I do want to
150.
make this clear. I was actually quite
Okay.
familiar with the clutch. I mean, I
Okay.
I was my first I mean, I don't think I ever rode a dirt bike without a clutch. Because the first
Okay.
one I had was my dad's 200. That was the dual sport, the yellow one, and then I had the 150. I think I had the 150 for a while when this trip happened. I know that's gonna make these things a lot more embarrassing, but like I did know how to ride a dirt bike pretty well. I feel like.
Well, um, yeah. So I guess I was more new to the clutch, and our dads are like, "Yeah, you guys should race." So we lined it up, and we picked the telephone pole out yonder, and one of the dads said 3, 2, 1, and we both whoop, and I look over to Abe, and all I see is Abe isn't there. He's doing a full blown wheelie, and he does a wheelie so well that he lands on his back, and the bike lands on him. So yeah, I ended up winning that race, but that was just one of the more fond memories I have of us growing up, was just looking over and seeing your bike uh, 90 degrees in the air.
It
So
gets thrown around so much that it never fails to bring a smile to my face because again I knew how to ride a dirt bike pretty well. Riding for like at least a year by now. And I've never dropped a clutch ever. Like I've never like I've never raced anyone. I've never like trying to beat someone like from 0 miles per hour. Never did it occur to me to sit towards the front of the bike. The current laws of the laws of motion and gravity weren't exactly running through my head. It was, hey, Cannon's a lot faster than me. I just know it. So I need to I need to like focus up on going fast, basically. And if you don't know, like you want to sit on the front of the bike, uh, and lean quite a bit forward. And I did not do any of those things, and therefore the bike went straight up in the air. And again, I'm not a super fast guy. I don't have a ton of fast twitch fibers. I'm cool with that. So a lot of things don't happen in slow motion for me. This thing happened in slow motion. I remember it very vividly to this day. Like being basically looking towards the sky, seeing the front of the wheel to the sky, and this bike perfectly above me. And in slow motion, I was like, this is not going to end well. And again, I just did everything I can to push the bike to the left uh, as much as I can. And so thankfully it didn't crush me totally. And I had boots on. So everything, I came out completely unscathed. But yeah, to see Cannon like, a quarter mile down this road already, by the time I got to my feet, I was like, oh, this is cool. And then, of course, all the parents, by the time I stood up, I think both of our dads were crackling laughing.
they're
Yes.
they're laying on the ground next to you, probably. Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, thank God didn't I didn't get hurt at all. But man, it was
Yeah,
hilarious. And yeah, that story gets brought up a lot, which is awesome.
it
But
does. Do you think you'll give your kids dirt bikes? Will you be, riding with them, or what do you think on that?
oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's super important. Like I think I'm not super. I've driven manual, but I'm not super good at driving manual. But like I think it's kind of a lost art, and I think dirt bike can help me so much with that. Um, and I think my parents. I don't know how we ended up getting a dirt bike. My dad grew up with dirt bikes. He rode them a lot, and then like went 20 years without one. And then my mom, I think, randomly bought him one. I don't think without his permission. I don't know how it happened, but I knew it was like kind of a big deal. My dad just picked me up from school one day at Los Angeles and was like, "Hey, like get on," and I was like, "Oh, sweet." So that's kind of like where my love for motorcycles came from, was just him picking me up and driving from Los Angeles to my house, and from then on, it was like, all right, how big do I need to get in order to ride this thing? And my dad was like, all right, like your feet need to be able to touch the ground. So like I remember like doing stretches as a kid, stretching my bed to like just get taller. Yeah, I remember the first time I was able to ride it, and he was in the back of me teaching me all the clutch and stuff. And so just like I just remember that first bike that he had. And again, I think in his head, he he had the idea of like, yeah, I'd love to do that with kids, and then never did until my mom bought him one. And I think I don't want to say that's going to be the exact same, but I think, I've always wanted the idea to ride with my kids. And, um, I don't know. I don't really know what age you're supposed to get a kid a dirt bike, but like, I might be pretty young for my kids just because they were so much fun. And I don't know, like I've seen, it's different when you have them because you do see like, hey, you can go buy them from, Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace or whatever. And then, you can, once they outgrow them, you can kind of sell them. If you don't, as long as you don't trash them, like you can kind of sell them for around the same price and get, your money's worth out of it. And so, um, but yeah, man, I enjoyed it. Some of the best times with my dad was on dirt bikes. I know we grew up in a great place for it all, but I loved it. I would like to have dirt bikes with my kids. I'm not going to say it's a certain thing, but I'd really, really like to. But and I'm sure you probably feel the same way.
Yeah, I had a blast. Definitely felt a different way about motorcycles when I was younger. I thought I'd have a road bike or something now, but with Anderson's accident, I don't think I'll do a road bike anymore. It's just too, there's too many hazards out there with, people hitting you, or you could be the best dirt bike driver, or sorry, motorcycle dri rider in the world, but if somebody's not paying attention on the road, that's going to hurt you severely. So think about the road bikes a little different now, but I do think dirt bikes are fun, and I don't know if my kids will have a chance with Anderson being their uncle. I think that
I even thought
he'll
about that
be
part. Yeah,
he'll be constantly pushing me to get him stuff, and if I don't, I'm sure he will. So
Anderson seems
he'll be a
responsible.
fun uncle.
He seems responsible enough to be like, one Christmas, like a motorcycle just ends up like this kind of not trashy, but like this beat up motorcycle is just gonna end up underneath like in your living room of like how the hell did this happen? What's
Yeah, how'd we fit that in the chimney?
yeah
Yeah.
what's Alyssa's view on motorcycles?
Yeah, she's not as sold on them as, we were growing up, but I think she'd come around to it. I like you said, I think my friends that did ride motorcycles and drove stuff growing up, I do feel like they're actually better drivers once they hit the streets. And like you said, with your understanding of how to drive manual and stuff, I think that's a good skill to have. And just where to look, what to pay attention to. I think those are all good skills, and yeah, you have a lot of fun while doing it too. So, um, yeah, I think it's a good skill. I enjoy it, and I could definitely see myself getting into it. But I think I would have to learn a lot more mechanical mechanical things, which I'm sure I would learn just having it. It's broke down. I'd have to research it and all that. But right now, I do not have enough time to have a bike and take care of it and find a spot to park it and stuff. Living in an apartment, so
Yeah,
it's a no for now, but I'm sure the second I move back to Arizona, Anderson will be hounding me to get one and go out with him. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's like, "Here, buy this one," and you can, if you don't like it, you can sell it for whatever, $1,000 profit, because that's what he loves. He's very good at it and buys stuff for cheap and sells it high. So um, yeah, we'll see. I'm sure I'll get sucked back into it, but as of right now, I don't have any serious pull living up in Washington.
yeah. I think I'm curious to see both being in apartments and like growing up in garages, and I think I would say yours and my garage is quite not unique, but like we got a lot of shit in our garages growing up, and I really appreciate that. I think the second I get a garage, I think my bank account might just go down significantly because I just want to fill it up as much as possible. But yeah, no, I definitely agree with kind of everything you're saying. All right, man. I know that this podcast we there's just a lot of randomness and we kind of just going with whatever. But I have kind of a couple questions here that I'm curious to see what your answers are. Either I know what they are or I don't. I'm looking for confirmation, but I think they're just kind of good things to talk about. But I just spent last Sunday traveling basically all day, from Idaho to Georgia. But what is specifically air travel, right? What does air travel look like for you? Um, and has it changed at all through your life, right? I'll go ahead and go first. I don't want to spend a ton of time in the airport. I'm the least, as you can tell from my story, getting in on the plane in Spokane. I want to spend the least amount of time in the airport as possible. Um, I could care less about layovers. I actually kind of prefer layovers because it breaks up a long flight. Unless it's like an hour and a half flight, then I don't want to layover for that. But um, and I feel like I'm just trying to be as efficient as possible. Like I don't have a lot of stuff in my bag. Um, I try to get through security as quickly as possible. Like I don't cause a commotion. I don't think I've ever caused a commotion in security. Um, and, and I'm not like a dad where like I got to get to the airport 2 hours before and see my gate and check on it. But I will like check the big boards and be like, all right, like my flight is still at this gate. We're good to go. Like check for a restroom, and I basically stand outside the gate until like I'm gonna be one of like the last 10 or 12 people on this airplane because I'm not typically putting stuff up above, um, and I don't want to be stuck in that seat for longer than I need to. And then getting out, I basically want to get my bag again. I feel like I'm just a machine when I get in airports where I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna get my bag and I'm getting the heck out of here. Um, I don't buy, food is either pre-made. I don't eat it. I don't try not to eat. I might grab a drink if I'm feeling real spicy, but other than that, airports are just a mess for me. Um, I know some of those things you resonate with too, but I'm curious to see has that changed maybe since dating Alyssa or I've gotten older. But I know I know your family. I haven't traveled exactly with your family, but I've dropped them off at airports, and I do understand what you're kind of going through. But how do you travel? How do you travel in the air? Out of curiosity.
Yeah, I'd say we get there. We're not one of the people that are, the last people there. We're probably there pretty early. Um, Alyssa works from home, and so if we get there, she just kind of works from home, and I don't know, play on my phone or listen, play games, or I don't know, do something while she's doing that, mess with finances, stuff like that. Um, so I don't mind showing up a little early. Just it gives me the comfort of not having a flight missed. I haven't missed one yet. Have you missed one yet?
Mm, I've missed one, but I was like 6. My parents were in charge, so
Okay,
I'm
that
not
doesn't
counting on
count.
it.
That
Yeah,
doesn't count.
no.
Okay. So I haven't missed one yet, but we'll see. um, I will say if we have the seats, already on the plane, I do the same thing where I'll just sit or hang out outside of the airport, and then I'm probably one of the last ones on. Um, I don't like sitting longer than I have to for that, but I do like sitting in the airplane and actually just watching movies. That's one of my favorite things is just, getting a Delta American Southwest, one of the flights that has the movie packages. And
Yeah.
I like catching up on all the movies. I usually get, the Marvel movies. I watched Inception the other day. That thing had me messed up. Great movie. If you haven't seen it, definitely go watch it.
Best movie to watch on
It's,
the plane by far.
it's older, but I mean, I don't actually know how old it is. I just know it's older because everyone else I've talked to has seen it already. But I watched it. That thing had me messed up. I thought I left my AirPods on the plane. So I went back and talked to them, asked if I could get back on the plane. They're like, no, you got to wait for everyone to come out before you can go back. And I can go back and look for them for you. I was like, all right. And while I was waiting there, I opened my backpack and they're in my backpack. And so I was distraught about that. And then Alyssa's like, I got to go to the bathroom. I was like, okay, me too. And so I just was walking, like, in my own head, thinking about the movie, followed her right into the woman's bathroom, like, finally looked up and said, "What am I doing?" Like, just yelled it out loud. And there was just other lady in there washing her hands, like, just cackling as I left the restroom. So, yeah, watch Inception. It'll have you messed up, just like me. Dude, I was on a different planet. It was an awesome movie. Love the airport movies. Love the same as you. I do not eat at airports. I don't drink at airports. I'll bring a empty water bottle, run that through security, fill it on the other end, and that's about the only consumption I have in airports. I'm cheap. I was growing up cheap, and so I've taught Alyssa that you can take food through the security. That is a grinder special, and apparently the Elmores do that as well. So, uh,
Nice.
Alyssa did not grow up that way. She did not know that you were allowed to bring food through the security line. She thought you had to buy there. So, introduced her to that, and now we're, getting Chipotle or something before and throwing that in a bag or packing sandwiches or something. So, what else? Bags, pretty similar to you. Try not to pack too much extra. Um, I've learned that, you just throw your bag up in front of the plane. Like if
Oh
you're going to
yeah.
the back of the plane, if you throw it up in the front, like take it where you can because you don't want to be the guy that's going backwards when everyone else is walking forward through the plane. Um,
I'm a
yeah,
big
that's really about it.
I'm a big I did a lot uh in college, but I would basically get a bag through security. And then, chances are, I mean, who hasn't been on a flight recently? We're like, hey, we're volunteering, checked bags, at the gate, and I'll be the first one to be like, yes, I will gladly volunteer for this, because I don't like dealing with it. I don't want to, I don't. If they misplace my bag, like I always have a few extra clothes in my backpack that I always take, but if they don't need my bag, like they're gonna pay for it. So it's like, and again, like, they're pretty good. Like I know it's going right from this gate right outside into that plane. They can't mess this up. And so I've never had an issue with it, but I will always kind of be like, please take this bag. Like by all means, like give me less things to carry on and off this plane. Um, and it's also free. So like there's times where
That's interesting. I
like
always hold I always hold off on that. I try to hold mine back. Uh, if they force me to, they can have it, but I do not go that way. I just feel like that slows me up on the back end when I'm there and like excited to get off the plane and get to my people
yeah.
waiting for me at the other end. So I like to try to keep it if I can. And you said they pay you? Is that Are you sure
Well,
about that?
like
Like they will pay you
if
for
your
it?
bag goes missing and they can't find it, like they'll pay for it. Like they'll pay for
Really?
something. They'll do something. Yeah, they'll do something. They'll give you something. And so I'll just miss like I've packed extremely big bags that have like gone through TSA, knowing that like, hey, there's no way that this is. And again, this is like the Americans, the Deltas, the South, no, not Southwest, but like the Americans, the Deltas, the Uniteds. They're not super picky on measurements, but like Spirit and Frontier, but like um and so like this bag will definitely be like need to be checked, but it gets through TSA and I get to the gate and they call up and I'm like, yeah, please check this really big bag for free. Um, I'm not saying that that's like a secret. I'm not saying like you should do it, but like I've always done that. And again, it's just one less thing for me to worry about. Yeah, it does slow you up, but I typically have golf clubs that I'm always waiting for either way too. So I gotta wait anyway. But and then I've just been packing a lot of clothes in my golf bag, to just do one bag. I've been doing that as well. But yeah, man, I'm efficient. I've flown a couple times with Mina's family. They are they only fly Delta. I fly the cheapest, whatever's in and out. But they fly Delta exclusively. They get to the airport quite a bit earlier. Um, they want to get to the airport. They won't miss their flight. They only fly direct. Uh, they have there's been a few times where we've been in lounges or they like to eat at the airport, and it's just like it's a true like, what are we doing here? Like my PB&J is currently getting pretty soggy in my backpack right now. I don't know why you guys are coming out here to eat in this terrible breakfast spot, but it's
Are,
so fun to see different people travel. I don't know. I enjoy traveling. I know I just made it say like I don't want to be in the airport as much as possible, but I crave efficiency, I guess. And
are,
huh?
are they the type of people that also are buying drinks on the plane or, flying first class, or are they?
They're they're not. I mean, they've been one of their flights. They did get bumped up to first class, just their parents, not us. But then theirs was times where they looked over at me and was like, "Hey, do you want something to drink?" And me and I think got like a wine or something. And I was like, I'll take the free Coke." Like just didn't it still just didn't feel right, and I don't I don't want to be one of those people. So, um, but yeah, they I don't know. It's just it's fun to fly them just because it's so different. I mean, like I remember the first time going to airport lounge, and I was like, oh my god, like everything here's like all that food's free. They're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, don't mind if I do. And that was nice. The Wi-Fi is a little bit better. It's more comfier. Um, but yeah, I, it did instantly like as I was in the airport lounge looking at how to get in the airport lounges, and then by the time I got out of the lounge, I was like, what am I doing? Like I don't need this. It's just gonna make me want to get to the airport sooner. Um, so very fun to like travel with them. They're great people. And it's just cool to see the other side. What's on the other side of that door. But yeah, I wouldn't trade my pre-made PB&Js the morning of for nothing. But no,
Yeah, I with the lounges, that brings me back. I didn't know those existed until my friend and I, Ben, in college, we were flying to Spain. And we were running trying to catch the flight, or we were a little late, and so we were running trying to catch the flight, and we just took a wrong turn, and suddenly we were in the lounge, and like they're like offering us champagne, and like there was food everywhere, and we are like, what did we just stumble into? And like, so we took a quick glass of champagne and grabbed some food, and we're like, that was awesome. I wish we had more time to hang out there, but we just kind of stumbled in there. And so that was my first time realizing that. And so when I went back to, traveling with my family, my mom is notorious for, we got to be there like 8 hours early, and just, she's very scared of missing a flight. I think I've adapted a little less than that, but still I'd probably say on the earlier side, not quite to her degree. So me and my little brother Anderson would always, after that point, I was like, hey, these are lounges, they exist, and they have free food, and so let's see if we can get in. And so he would spend the 3 or 4 hours we have trying to find all the lounges and see if we could, get in for a bit before they'd kick us out. And it was it was a funny time. We would get in occasionally, and it's good. I see why people go and hang out at the airport. It is pretty fun when you're in there and getting free food and omelets and stuff like that. It's good stuff, but it's like $80 a person if you don't
yeah,
have their credit card or whatever. Like, I'm sure there's some sort of incentive if you buy their credit card that costs $500 a year, you get in or something. But it's yeah, I was like, oh, that's too much for me.
yeah,
I'll take, yeah, the PB&J like you said. But yeah, it's funny. It's funny, like, growing up with my family being that, that's all I know. And, growing up and seeing Alyssa's family and like hearing about my friends and how they approach things similar to the airport travel, and just, you can be so close with someone and yet so different in so many ways. And yeah, I'd say we're in the minority for that. If I had to guess, for pre-packing food, it seems like they want to get you on an island and uh, charge you $20 for a sandwich, or $15 for a drink or something. And a lot of people seem to fall for that.
yeah. Yeah, my mom again just growing up was like, oh, everything's more expensive in the airport. And again, I didn't know what money meant as a kid, and now I've gotten older, and I was like, I'll just be walking by and be like, yo, like that Chick-fil-A is not the same price as the one down the street. Like what do you mean? So yeah, just so cool to like get older, and again, I'm not saying like I'm not stubborn, like I'll do whatever, but for some reason, like I just like the simpleness of it all, and it's just cool to kind of observe everything and um certainly experience other things. Couple quick hitters for you.
Yeah,
Um,
what's up?
what is your favorite beverage to drink? Like if I had to give like you can have water or you can have this. Like what is like kind of your go-to favorite beverage? Someone's gonna give it to you, birthday gift, Christmas gift, whatever. What is it?
Yeah, I smoothies. I love smoothies.
You got it? Is there a
I'm
specific smoothie?
some cherries, blueberries, orange juice, and Greek yogurt. Maybe
Okay.
some dragon fruit, some frozen dragon fruit.
So definitely like a homemade smoothie with those things in it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
my dad was big on smoothies growing up, and so I, took over the family business and consuming large quantities of smoothie.
That's
But yeah, I haven't actually done that in a while since I've been up here in Washington. But um, yeah, might have to get back into that. How about
it.
yourself?
It's just not hot up there to get smoothies, right? In Arizona, it's smoothie season all the time, basically.
Smoothie Central,
Okay, I would say Old Trusty. Besides water, obviously, is probably like blue Powerade.
tequila. Oh, sorry, what?
Blue Powerade, it's just so good. Like I'll never turn it down. Especially like out of like a styrofoam cup for some reason. Like it just tastes that much better. Um, Not good for you, but I found out like that's Mina's one of Mina's like good go to drinks when she's like not feeling well. And so not that I want Mina to feel bad, but anytime that she's not feeling good, that I might get one or two cases of that just for us. And I certainly won't drink it in front of her because that would make her feel bad. But yeah, I would say let's go to. And then water. Obviously, I just love water, especially like my grandparents. Their old property, they were well water. I don't know if it was good for you or not, or the best kind of water for you, but that water was so damn good. I don't know your answer to this, and I'm not even sure if you have one. But um, what's your favorite restaurant? Do you have one?
It's a good question. Um, I really like oregano's. Like for
Oh,
a sit down restaurant,
so good.
oregano's is a good stuff. And I feel like I would go with my family and just always have like we'd have fun. Like it was just like something to do. The family would hang out and we'd always just be laughing at the end of it. And I don't know, you know, I think the best thing about oregano's is the leftover pizza too. Like it's one of those pizzas where it's hot and it's like a little too hot when you're eating it and it's kind of burning your tongue and the roof of your mouth. And then, if you have a little extra when you go home and you put it back in the microwave, it's like actually better. Um, it's weird how pizza sometimes
Yeah,
works like that, where it's like
yeah.
it finally solids up and isn't scalding hot, but that leftover oregano's pizza is fantastic.
That's like my
Definitely like,
go-to. Sorry, that's like my go-to like good test for pizza for like really good pizzas. Like, is it good heated up? Like, is it good? Is it good the next day? Right.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Are you a cold pizza guy for leftovers, or you gonna pop it in the microwave?
If there's some way to heat it up, I'll heat it up. But that's not to say like I wouldn't eat cold pizza. But I'm a big heat it up because that's the way it was designed.
I'm the same. I Yeah, when I was younger, I used to eat cold pizza,
You
but
ate cold
it,
pizza
it does
all the
not
time
hit
as
the
a
same
kid,
anymore.
all the time.
Did I?
I remember so many memories of you eating cold pizza.
That's
Uh,
funny. I definitely like warmer pizza better, but yeah, I guess if you recall it, I did it a lot.
but yeah, no, oregano's is so good that it seems like I know that they opened up that location when we were like kids, closer to our houses. I remember when that happened. My parents took us there, not often, but like enough to where it became kind of like a go-to spot for us. But yeah, that's so good. Is there anywhere else? Is anywhere else you can think of?
Yeah, I mean breakfast, senior taco, and then lunch, MVP pita.
That's true. That's true.
Easy.
Yeah, that's
Other
good.
than that, I don't really care for eating out, but those three places are a special place in the heart.
That's awesome.
Yeah. How
Um,
about yourself?
I'm trying to think of like a true restaurant for me. Oh, I would say the one here in Atlanta is probably El Viñedo Local. It's Uruguayan food. I know it sounds like crazy. Like I didn't even heard of Uruguayan food before. But me and I got it one day, brought it home, and it's like, hey, try this. And we both had like we looked at each other, was like, this is the best thing we've had ever. And that became kind of our one of our favorite spots. And it's a one stop, like it's a very small, like maybe like 50-person restaurant. And we go there for special occasions. But I would say, um, chain wise, like I freaking love In and Out. Every time I get home, every time I get back to Arizona, I absolutely will go there at like 10 o'clock in the morning right when they open up. If it's on my way home. Um,
A morning burger, a breakfast
morning,
burger.
It is not beneath me to do that at all. I don't do it. I try to have my flights come in the afternoon, but God forbid I get in at 9:30 in a 30-minute drive to my house. It times it up perfect for that 10 a.m. burger. They're fresh,
10
man.
a.m. burger.
They're fresh.
I respect it. It's funny to me how like how sought after In and Out is, even though it's like such a huge chain restaurant. It's still like they only have it on the West Coast, and it's still like a specialty dinner, even though it's like what $3 a burger. Like
Yeah, I
it's
think three twenty
it's
five.
hilarious to me. Yeah, and everybody seems to love it. And if you're not from the West Coast, everyone's like, "How is it?" Like it's crazy. The guys in Europe were like, "How is In-N-Out Burger?" Like we've heard so many rumors about how good it is, and being over in Europe, it was funny because there was a KFC built like an hour and a half away from where we were, and the guys were just pumped to go over there and try KFC. I was like, dude, I haven't ate KFC in like 15 years, and like I wouldn't even touch it. Like, I mean,
I've maybe had it
I'd
once.
try it. I'd try it now. I'm curious if it would be good now, but um, yeah, they're like, it was okay. I was like, yeah, it's
It's
fine.
not.
Like it's nothing special. And then like over there, we lived with a German and his girlfriend, and she was like pumped to get Dunkin' Donuts. Like she has some app where it's like right before they're about to throw them away, they'll just offer them for like 50% off.
Yeah,
And so she was pumped to get 6 donuts for like $12, $2 a donut, and it's half off. And it's Dunkin' Donuts, or like it's just funny to me. Like that's an American chain, and I would say all Americans would argue that pastries in Europe are, like a specialty compared to
yeah,
American any sort of pastry. So it was just funny and backwards to me. And then In and Out's even a higher pedestal than any other fast food, just because even in the U.S. it is like a novelty. So it's yeah, funny that In and Out is such the pinnacle of the fast food almost.
but yeah. So yeah, like I know it's not a restaurant. To be honest with you, I haven't had like any like nothing in Arizona sticks out to me. Like they have all like the good chains and stuff, but um like a true restaurant, I don't I wasn't around that environment before, so I don't really know what to say. But yeah, the senior taco in and out, like I'm gonna get those, both of them. I guarantee it. If I'm there for more than 3 days, I'm gonna eat both of those at some point. It just happens. I miss it too much.
What is Hungarian food? You want to explain that a bit?
Ur- Uruguayan,
Oh,
Uruguay.
sorry.
No,
Jeez.
you're good.
I'm hungry, I guess.
Yeah, dude, it's um. I don't even know what they're called. They're not empanadas. Empas. They're called empas. They're basically what. And this is like what we mostly get and with like other tapas, but it's it's kind of like a burger, but it's not. Like it's almost like oh man, don't put me in the spot. It's like I don't know how to describe it, dude. It's just so good. Hold on, look it up. You keep
Sounds
talking.
good. Sounds super good. I like burgers.
And it's not. It's not like um. Oh God. So like you have like a piece of
No.
bread on top, piece of bread on the bottom, and then you have a meat, a sauce, um, peppers, lemon. Like I don't know, dude. It's just good food, man. It's one of those things where like I looked at it and I was like, I'm a kind of a picky eater, and I like, looked at it, I was like, that just looks good, and I ate it, and I was like, this is the best thing I've ever had in my entire life. It tastes nothing like a hamburger. I want to make that very clear. It just looks like one. Um, they're called the Rapas. That's what it was. Hold on. Uh, yeah, dude, they're just so good, so good.
Is
Uh,
it something that you could eat one of, 10 of? Like
no,
how is that?
they're like the size of like an English muffin kind of thing. They
Okay.
look like an English muffin, right? The bread aspect
Fun.
of it. you could eat like I could eat 5 of these things, dude, just quickly. But yeah, they're really good. We'll typically get like three. I mean, and I will split the three of them, and so that way we get like three different kinds. So good, man. I had no idea. It makes me want to go to Uruguay. I've never had any desire to go to Uruguay, and I was like, dude, I really I looked at me and I was like, I'm forever in the southern hemisphere, somewhat close to there. We're going. We're gonna go there. We're gonna get some authentic ones, but um, yeah, man, they're really good. If you come, next time you come down here, I'll for sure take you.
Sweet.
It's a
Yeah,
bit out of
sounds
the way,
fun.
but it's totally worth it. It's my version of senior taco. Um, but yeah, man. What other stuff? Road trips. You go on a lot. We've done a road trip together. We've actually done a few road trips together, believe it or not. To Texas and to school, but um, how do you handle road trips? Are you a big stop and see whatever you can, or are you like, hey, I need to get to point A to point B as fast as I can. Nothing's gonna come my way. I'll piss in a can, whatever. Like explain to me what your road trips look like and your mentality.
That's a good question. I think it really depends, what we're driving through. I'd say for the most part, I'm a A to B person, but like I will 110 times out of 10 turn around to see a deer or
Yeah,
an elk or like any sort of wildlife. I'm just going out on a on a different trip now. Um, I don't know. That's a good question. I haven't done, the degree of road trips that I did growing up with my parents, driving around all 50 states and um but I think it's a good mix. You want to see something, you stop. Do we have time? Yeah, we have time, so we'll go and see it. Or, we don't have time. We have this plan, so we'll go to it. So it's a hard one to say, just because it's very vague.
yeah.
It really just comes down to the time. How about yourself?
I I'm more point A to point B. Like again, I kind of do agree with you. Like I'm going up the west. I'm gonna try to get either like a bunch of national parks in or try to see a bunch of stuff. But like if I'm going over like anything east of the Rocky Mountains, chances are I'm just gonna go as fast as I can. But um, so yeah, I would say it depends. But like yeah, if you told me like, hey, you've got to go from oh, and I'll stop in St. Louis. I've got to stop in St. Louis at some point to see the St. Louis Museum.
You gotta, man. You
Got
gotta.
got to do that one of these days. I haven't done it yet, but I got to do one of these days. But yeah, if I'm going that west, like I'll try to hit, maybe a couple national parks I haven't seen yet, or stuff I haven't seen before, just because I think it'd be cool. Like I would totally go out of my way to go see that. But and another thing, I know we kind of talked about. I kind of mentioned it with the garages. I know that you're thinking about getting houses soon. Yeah, I'm sure you're probably looking at it soon. But have you thought or had any ideas about what you want your house to look like or feel like, mainly on the inside? Because I know a lot of houses do look the same in Arizona. But have you thought about any of that at all?
No.
Yeah, no, I
Would be the
figured you
short
did.
answer. Um, no, more just, looking at the area of where we'd be living. I think that makes a difference. There's nicer parts of Arizona and not as nice parts. So looking there, mainly looking in Arizona. But dude, this past weekend, 2 weekends ago, when we were up in Idaho together, has me thinking I could live with a boat. Not necessarily in a boat, but like
Yeah.
I need to get a boat. I was nonstop laughing and smiling that whole day we were out on that boat. And so I definitely thinking maybe I could move back to the Midwest and live on a lake or something. Um Not really. Alyssa would not go for that. But yeah, definitely thinking we'll look into boats and stuff when we get home and think about that. We had a blast, dude. That was so much fun. I can't thank you and your family enough for having us. It was so much fun.
It's crazy too. Like it was an old, I think it's an old ski boat, old wave run. I don't know exactly what it was, but like I think it was like an '80s boat. Like, dude, I would love to have a boat from the '80s. Like, it's funny how like you'd much rather have a boat from the '80s than like a car from think about a car from the '80s, like just an old average like Chevy Impala, like whatever, and like, oh, that's an ugly looking car, I don't want that, whatever. But like an old kind of run down 80 '80s boat, like, dude, that thing's badass. Like, it's just so much fun. Like, I don't care if it's got leather issues or whatever. Like, just get like, I just want that. So I'm right there with you. I had a blast. eh, I don't know. That's the thing that kind of about Arizona is that there are lakes, but you don't get to live on a lake. I think that aspect of it's so cool. Um, Even like in Seattle, I know Seattle's really popular to have like houseboats, like boats on houses on the water, like physically on the water, and it's like you get inside, you can't really tell you're on the water. Um, if you've ever watched Sleepless in Seattle, like that's what that guy lives. And I think that would be another cool thing. It's like, God, like how cool of a life would it be just to have kind of a small houseboat with an actual boat that you can just do whatever you want on the water and then come back and just sleep in the boat. It's such a cool life. But that's funny. So your house, you're thinking about having basically a boat on it. It's awesome.
Yeah, as long as a garage can fit a boat. No, I don't know, man.
Do you
It
think your
seems
house
like
will
I'm a
look?
long way away from it, but I'm
I
really
know.
not too far. So we'll see. We're also flirting with the idea of renting when we get back, and not purchasing a house just because it might make more sense right now with just how the
Yeah.
cost of rent versus actually purchasing a house is
Do you
right
think
now.
your
So
house? Do you think your house is gonna look a lot like your parents' house? Like, I'm talking about the inside, right? Because the outside's, yeah, it's hard to choose. But the inside, do you think it'll feel more like your parents' house? Do you feel like it'll be more of like a combination of you and Alyssa? I mean, you guys have lived in basically college houses, your houses. How,
that's a good question, and you should ask Alyssa that one because I have not had a say in what the house looks like, decoration wise or any of that. And um, genuinely, I do not care. I think the biggest thing I care about is just kind of having open space, so I can throw a ball in the house and not get yelled at. And other than that, I don't really care. I like having a basketball hoop on the doors and being able to live in my house. I don't want to live in a museum.
yeah.
Um, so I'd say
No
that's
glassware. I'd say
yeah, definitely not. I have been called a bull in a china shop many times in my lifetime, and um, I'm self-aware about it at least. I know that I am, but I do not care for glassware too much. But yeah, I don't know, man. I haven't thought about it that in depth. I'd say probably something in the 2,000 square foot range.
yeah,
It's probably maybe a little less just to start out and not really purchase something to be a family home necessarily, but something, we can have kids that are maybe up to 5 years old and then probably upgrade the house or move to a location with better schools or whatever. Also flirting with the idea of having a duplex and just,
yeah.
if those numbers check out, see how that works. And um, yeah, I don't know. Haven't put a ton of thought to the actual size of the house, more just the numbers and stuff. I think Alyssa will help me out with what she wants the house to look like once we purchase it. But we're just purchasing the bones. Really, she can
Yeah.
have fun on the inside and do what she wants to it once we get it. So yeah, I don't know. How about yourself? I know you said you're looking for fix me up properties and stuff like that with Mina and their parents. So what have you thought about all that?
Yeah, I would say like Mina and I definitely agree. Like we want it to feel right. This is all feelings now, but like feel homey. I think she doesn't like her parents' house where it feels like a museum, like you had said. Um, but like I want stuff like I don't want people coming over and breaking stuff and being like, oh my God, I'm so sorry about it, or like worried about the price or whatever. Like if you break something in my house, it's probably going to be pretty impressive. Like, holy crap, I didn't think that thing could break.
I'll find it for you.
Yeah, I know you will. But you won't feel bad about breaking it because it's like, it probably wasn't expensive. But not to say like we want fill our house with a bunch of cheap things, but like we just want it to be um fun and intimate. Like we want it to be like, big spaces. Like I agree with you. I had somewhat taller ceilings in my house that we were able to throw a ball in, but that would be nice. But um definitely more like intimate spaces where you're kind of closer with with people and like conversing and kind of a room having its own kind of thing. I know Mina wants a library, but or like a book room or something like that. But like when you're in the dining room, you're in the dining room. Well, we're not. I don't want a dining room, but like if you're in the kitchen, you're in the kitchen. If you're in this, then you're in this room. But like, and so like it all like I don't know. Like I just remember like sitting in your flat when I went to go visit you in Europe, and we had like 12 people in there. It felt like at one time when a bunch of buddies came over, and that space was so small, but it felt you know plenty big to have that many people in. And I think that's kind of the idea of like, hey, like, you don't need this big huge house. Like, you can create space basically, with making it feel more intimate, which I think is kind of the idea. But I do agree. Like, I want to be able to throw balls in the house. I want stuff to break. Uh, like if something breaks, it's not a big deal. In a big garage, I spent a lot of time in my garage. Gosh, we had 2 cars, like 3 dirt bikes, a bunch of golf clubs, ping pong table, 2 TVs. Like, I have a feeling the garage will kind of be my area, my domain, and so I'd want a good sized garage that I can kind of just hang out in, just like a place anyone can come. But main thing is, hey, like you can put a hole in the drywall. That's fine, as long as you can fix it.
Learning experience.
Exactly.
Love it.
But all right, man, do you have any other final comments? Any other final questions?
Think that's all for this round. Kind of a
All right.
random episode, bouncing around, talking about random stuff, just kind of catching up. So I think that's what we set out to do with this podcast is, just kind of let it take it let it take us where, you know, we want to go. And here we are
All right,
talking
man.
about putting dry holes in the drywall of our future houses. So it's funny
We
and
we
looking forward to.
we should start. We should start. We have a lot of contests going on right now. We've always, you and I have always had placed bets on the next kind of stage of life. We should we should stage bets of, or keep track of who has more drywall repairs in their house over the years.
Yeah, that'd be good. Or even an episode of where we make like far out bets. That could be fun too on, friends and what's going on in people's lives and who's gonna have a we already have one who's gonna have a kid next and who's getting married next and all that. So that could be a fun one to look back on and just, place little, I don't know, $5 bets and see where people go with all that. That could be
I like
fun.
that. I like that a lot. We do that enough as it is. It'd be good. It'd be good to
It's true.
document it.
To document it and look back, that'd be fun.
All
All
right, man.
right, man.
I'll catch
Well,
you next
good
week.
talking to you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, everybody, for listening,
Catch you
and see
later.
you next week.